Playoff edition.
Way
Stay
too much energy.
winning.
Bring it down a little bit. Bring
No,
it down
I
a
ain't
little
gotta.
bit.
I ain't gotta bring it down, man. I gotta bring it down, man. We got the
You excited now? You ready to talk about the NBA again in a positive way?
real
You done with this
basketball. Yes,
crap about NBA is not a good product and all of that? Whatever,
they don't
whatever.
play. They don't play during the regular season. They don't play. That's why you get labels like playoff Jimmy. That's how you get that because he don't play during the regular season.
Sometimes players are pretty good all season, but they take it to a different level in the playoffs.
That's true. That's true. But we know Jimmy don't play during the regular season because he averaged like 16 points, and then all of a sudden he averaged like 30. You be like, wait, what?
Hey man,
So
Reggie Miller only averaged 18 for his career.
listen, man.
So 16 is pretty good.
I understand your
16 is
gripe.
pretty good.
I understand
16
your
is pretty
gripe
good.
against Reggie Miller. I get it. I respect it. And he has torn your heart out a few times. I get it. You know what I mean?
Nah, nah.
We got to use somebody else. Okay? Leave Reggie Miller out of this.
We got him back with those corny Wendy's commercials. Come on, man, let's go. Let's go. What we talking about? What we talking about today?
We got the playing games.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
got
yeah.
some playoff seeding matchups that we're gonna talk about that I really think is gonna be good. I got a surprise pick that's not gonna feel well. I think for the most part, it's a little surprise pick. But man, we jumping right into it. I'm one of your hosts, Talib.
Curtis.
You know it. We back here doing the thing, stay winning. So look, man, first and foremost, Orlando Magic beat the break off of the Atlanta Hawks, right? Look. They beat him so
Yes,
bad,
they
Trae
did.
Young quit. He's like, man, I'm done
Right,
with this, man. Let me get
right. I'm gonna take
ejected.
an early shower.
Yo, I'm going to put this ice. I thought I had ice in my veins. Now I'm gonna get this ice bath right now. You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly it.
They beat the brakes off of them. It wasn't even close. And then to see Chicago get blown out at home
That was a
against Miami,
surprise. That was a surprise because Chicago had been on a run.
they've been playing
But
good. Yeah.
but you know what?
Yeah.
It was a reminder that Spo is one of the best to have ever done it. We forget because it's been an up and down season for Miami. Then they end up trading Jimmy Butler, all of the back and forth, all of the talk about Pat Riley, Jimmy Butler, all of that stuff going on. We forget how great of a coach Spo is on any given night, and he didn't play a lick, but
Nope.
his team was prepared, and that's his job.
Right here, man. This is an interesting thought, right? Golden State beats Memphis. Okay, so they locked their playoff position in at 7. If Memphis missed the playoffs, how big of a disappointment is it on Ja's resume?
On Ja's resume alone, I don't think is that big of a disappointment. I don't think I'm not let down by Ja Morant if they miss the playoffs.
I
I'm
got
let
it.
down. I'll be let down by the Memphis Grizzlies because I personally thought they were better than that.
Yeah.
Now, does Ja get traded? I believe so.
Yes, man, listen, he really has to figure out something. I don't know if it's his people around him. I don't know if he just got to mature. I don't know if he's just want to be a rebel. I'm not sure what it is, right?
Well, I mean, I think that's part of it, right? Like we brought up in the culture. He's brought up in the culture, man. We don't we don't take orders.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And so he's doing his celebration, and the league is just telling him, "Don't do that."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Man, what you telling me don't do that for, man? Fine me, I'm rich."
Yeah.
Now he's like being disobedient in a different way. He's like, "Okay, y'all don't like that one. What you think about this one?" And
Yeah.
and he's doing something similar, but
Yeah.
a little bit different. So he's following the instruction, but he's mocking it at the same
Yeah,
time.
he's defiant. He's just doing it
Yeah,
in a different lane right now. Now,
yeah. So instead
here's
of
the
shooting
crazy.
at people,
Yeah,
instead of
I
shooting
just
at
blow him
people, now
up.
he's throwing
Yeah,
grenades.
yeah,
He doesn't. The problem though is that it's not clear to me how well he understands the why behind it. It's not the league's not. I don't think the league is trying to control him as an individual, but he is an employee of this league, right? And there's certain rules of conduct that benefit the business that he's expected to follow, right? So him not wanting to follow along with the rules is almost like him showing up like I don't want to wear the uniform.
Correct.
right?
Now different sport, but every time this celebration happens, it's an unsportsmanlike conduct 15-yard penalty. Every single time an NFL player makes a sack, big play, score a touchdown, and they do this, they
Mm,
automatically 15-yard penalty. So it's in the same lane with the shooting
yes,
of the guns, right? Because you don't
exactly.
want, there's kids watching. At the end of
And
the
you
day, that's what it is. There's kids watching. And when these kids see their heroes and they see them do a move, make a catch, do a celebration, that's exactly what they're going to follow behind doing in the Pee Wee leagues, in the Little Lag leagues, in the AAUs. They're going to do the exact same thing. So it's sending a message subliminally, whether we like it or not. That's exactly what is being done.
no, I think you're right. I think you are spot on as far as like the influence it has on young athletes, how they may celebrate in the leagues that they're in. They don't need to be influenced to celebrate
Yeah,
violently,
yeah,
right? I think that's the point. And it doesn't help that he's representing a city that is known for its violence. So
yeah,
this is part of the reason why I think he may benefit from a change of scenery.
yeah,
I do think there's going to come a time when Ja Morant's maturity will catch up to his basketball talent, and the league will be in trouble, especially if he continues to work on his body and strengthen his body so that he's less injury prone. Maybe get a little bit bigger, but don't lose the athleticism.
and the
When that
quickness.
maturity kicks in
Yeah,
and it all matches, yeah, and the quickness, and it all matches his what his basketball abilities have done for him,
yeah,
the league is going to be in trouble because he's already a budding superstar. But whoever they nominate to be the superstar at that time, whoever the league is supporting at that time, Jai's going to eat them alive with
yeah.
his talent.
So I'm interested, right? Because I'm kind of torn from this Western Conference matchup, play-in matchup. Dallas, right? They got the win against the Kings, so
Did they?
they got a chance to make that eighth seed. But do we really want to see Dallas play OKC hobbled, right? Without Kyrie, and knowing that had Kyrie been healthy with healthy AD, they not possibly sitting in this position that they're in right now. You know what I mean?
Well, but that's it's kind of like I was going to say it's kind of like the law of averages. Not really the same thing. What I'm trying to say is everybody goes through this. That injuries affect every team. And in this case, it just happened to be one of the most prolific scorers in the history of the game, one of the most skilled players in the history of the game. He is up there in years, and we hoping that Kyrie comes back and continues
Yeah,
picks up his career where he left off and continues to have a great career. Maybe next season or somewhere down the line. But this is how it goes, and what they got to figure out is, and it's Jason Kidd's job to do this.
yeah,
How do you compete with OKC? Period.
right,
And how do you compete without Kyrie? In fact, I don't even think Jason Kidd is thinking about Kyrie. He has to
right.
think about the advantages he may have. How well can PJ Washington and Najee Marshall and Max Christie deal with SGA and Jalen Williams?
Yeah.
I think that's a big deal. And how
Keep
can you get Clay? How can you get playoff Clay to show up like he did
last
last
night.
night or 2 nights
Yeah,
ago? Yeah,
yeah. I'm gonna keep it all the way a band with you. It don't make a difference if it's Memphis or Dallas. They getting swept. You know what I'm saying? They getting run out the building. Okay, whether it's Memphis or Dallas, pick your poison. Whoever run into OKC in the first round, just know pack only two pair of clothes because you going to OKC for 2 games and you coming home. Don't worry about it. You're gonna be comfortable when you get ready to get up out of there. You know what I'm saying? It don't make
you
a
only need
difference.
two fits,
You getting swept.
2 fits playoffs.
You getting swept. I'm just letting you know. Don't play them games. Just let you understand that right out the gate. OKC
So
got the brooms and the dustpan to get you up out of there real quick. You know what I'm saying?
so let me flip it on you.
Yeah.
If OKC loses to an eighth seed, what does that look like to SGA's career? What does that mean? It shouldn't matter, but does it matter for the MVP race?
So It won't matter because I think the voting is already going to be
Vote is
complete.
happening. The vote is happening
Right.
already. Yeah.
It's already happened, right? But boy, it's gonna stain it, right? But this is what's gonna happen. Let me tell you. Let me tell you right this. This is the hot take right here. Check this out. If OKC lose in the first round, book it. Kevin Durant is back at OKC next season.
No.
I'm just
No.
telling you. He going back.
If look, no. That's all.
I'm telling you. He getting out of Phoenix. I tell you that right now. He definitely getting up out of Phoenix.
Yeah, but with the way with the going back to what we talked about in the beginning, you talk about
Yeah,
players and their effort.
yeah, yeah.
KD doesn't play with a strong defensive effort at all
He
right
played
now.
defense.
He doesn't play with strong defensive effort right now at all.
Okay.
That's how I feel. Like yes, he has played some games where he's locked in towards the end of the season
Yeah,
when they were
yeah,
trying to make a push for the playoffs.
yeah.
But I didn't see all of that throughout the season.
When he
And what I'm
needed to.
thinking is, yeah, because I mean, look, man, we can blame the coach that's now been fired. Buttonholes is gone. You can blame him if we want, but you have a roster that starts with KD and Devin Booker. Yes, Bradley Beal is there, but he's hurt. He's been banged up. They had some other injuries that they dealt with. I get all that. That team should have won way more games, or should have been able to win way more games than what they won.
Yeah.
Right. So it's time to start thinking: is KD the person you bring in to start, or is he the person that jumpstarts your bench? Because I
So I'm
do
gonna say
think he
this.
has that ability.
I don't think KD, and this is me showing respect to him and to the guy that I'm gonna bring up. In this stages of their careers, with their style of play, I don't think you have LeBron or KD as your one option. They're your two.
Correct.
They're your
They should
second
be.
option. They should be, right? Now, the reason why Steph is a one option is because of the style and the system that they play in Golden State. But for LeBron and Kevin Durant specifically, they are absolutely phenomenal basketball players. They are great first ballot Hall of Famers. But at this stage of their careers, they're more of the second option than they need to be the first option. And I think a part of what I believe happened in Phoenix is one, they never bought in defensively, ever, right? And two, Devin Booker did not assert himself as the
The
alpha.
number one.
Yep. I think
The number
that
one.
played a major factor in Phoenix and their lack of success with that crew.
He has some big games, man. He has some big. I watched him scorch the Knicks a couple of times this season, so I know that there are certain games where he did show up. So but I think you got a good point, and I agree with you. They neither one of them should be the number one option, but I believe this. I believe that LeBron right now this season has played well enough to have no arguments about him being in the starting lineup.
Yes, I agree.
KD in Phoenix, yes, played well enough to have him be in the starting lineup.
Right.
But when you start thinking about where does KD go where he can actually help lift the team,
Mm-hmm.
we started this talk about OKC. I
Yeah,
don't put him in the starting lineup in OKC.
I agree with
I put
that.
I bring him off the bench. The crazy thing though, and the obvious thing is you're not getting KD unless you give up some of those starters that you got in
Right.
OKC.
So listen, one of our special guests I spoke to today, right? And he gave two teams that boy, if Kevin Durant went to, changes them completely, especially if they don't give up certain pieces, right? And the first team he mentioned was the Dallas Mavericks. KD going to Dallas, I think, allows Clay to play another 3 years because a healthy Kyrie and Lively on that pick and roll, if you double with Clay and KD out there, you cooked. You know what I'm saying? But the team that, in my opinion, I like when he mentioned this, and I'm talking about Big Rob, of course,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
He mentioned Milwaukee, right? And I said, yo, that might be a great spot for him,
Yeah, because
especially if they don't have to give up.
And
certain pieces to keep, to keep that nucleus together. I don't
Dame,
think KD cares about the money right now so much as far as just wanting to hoop and being a good space. You know what I mean?
he don't care about the money. Let your job tell you gonna go work somewhere else and they're gonna pay you less money. You'll be upset.
But I'm not in the hundreds of millions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got.
Well, maybe he got a hundreds of millions of dollars lifestyle,
That's the truth.
and
That's the
but
truth.
no, but
That's the truth.
Milwaukee, like if you could have a trio of KD, Giannis, and Dame, here's the funny thing about that. And this is gonna sound wild, but y'all gonna have to ride with me on this.
Yeah, yeah,
We've seen it before with Chris Middleton in that role. The
yeah,
difference is KD is taller.
yeah, and more
But Chris
efficient.
now, yes. But Chris
Yes,
Middleton, when they won the title, Chris Middleton was really good.
yes, he was.
And so, and he has been like they, remember Chris Middleton was part of like the big three before Giannis got there, right? Like he's had a career. So it would be similar to that. And this is why I question that comparison, like me being able to sit here and actually compare Kevin Durant to Chris Middleton is
Yeah,
why I question Kevin Durant's role in the starting lineup. Defensively, you're pretty much getting the same thing. You're getting a cone. I think KD KD to me is a good candidate to replace Porzingis in Boston.
I'm saying. And the only reason why I'm saying that is for this reason. Porzingis is a rim protector.
Sometimes, yes, but
So when
he's
he's
also
healthy, he's a rim protector.
that's
When
the
he's
point.
healthy.
When he's
When he's
healthy,
healthy.
KD is more healthy,
That's true. Yeah,
and KD's a better shooter. He's a more efficient shooter.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
So listen, I'm going this gonna light you up. This right here about to light you up. I've been thinking about this for some time, and I'm looking at these numbers, and I know that numbers only give you a certain viewpoint of the games and the teams that we're talking about.
they give me everything I need to know. Go ahead.
All right. So if that is the case,
I'm kidding.
Detroit upsets New York in 7 this playoff series because
Because because of
New
what
York
numbers?
ain't beating a good team consistently all year.
Right, they don't have to. They haven't beat a good team consistently all year, and they're still third in the East.
So
They
check
didn't
this
have to.
out. This is the only thing that has me a little hesitant on that pick. Detroit is young, and y'all have the better coach, and y'all got the vets that's got playoff experience, and the playoffs are a different game.
Is this the pick that you was talking about going to upset people?
Yep,
Nah,
I got.
you're not
I
upsetting
think
anybody. A lot of
Detroit.
people.
If there's any higher seed that could be upset, the two teams that could be upset right now, in my opinion, it's the Houston Rockets because Golden State is Golden State, and the New York Knicks. They're the two teams that I think could mess around and lose a first round series.
Okay, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. Now here's the thing though. The Knicks lost 4 games to the Cavs. The Knicks lost 4 games to the Celtics. The Knicks lost 3 games to the Pistons. That's cool. It's very difficult to beat a team, one team, 9 times, 8 times,
That's
seven
correct.
times.
That's correct.
So I'm not worried so much. I'm excited because actually want to see this playoff series because I think it's going to be a really fun and entertaining playoff series.
I agree.
Also think there's a chance that the Knicks sweep them.
That'd be a surprise with the regular season history. You
Yeah,
get
but I
what I'm
don't think the
saying?
regular season mean much. I mean, Mitchell Robinson missed half the season,
That's true.
and he didn't play. I don't think he played in that last game against Detroit either because
Okay.
it was a back to back.
Okay.
I'm not saying that Mitchell Robinson makes all of the difference in the world, but I'm just saying like we haven't played at full strength. Now I'm hoping that we actually do come in at full strength because there's still some questions about Jalen Brunson's ankle and his ability to go.
So you think he's about what you think he about 80%?
Yeah, yeah, about 80%. But I also think that we got a squad, man. I think we have a potential candidate for Defensive Player of the Year in OG Anunoby. He's not going to get it, but I think he's a candidate for it, but he should definitely make an all defensive team. Um, I think we have the second best big man in the league this year in Karl Anthony Towns, which I didn't think I would be saying at this point
Right.
after the trade last year, but he has shown up. And we still got an Iron Man in Mikal Bridges, who
Yeah.
I believe his game kind of goes for his confidence. And so the advantage that we have is home court advantage
Yeah.
because the whole city behind this New York Knicks team, and
Absolutely.
we want to see them play big. Detroit, they're smart. They're not selling tickets to anybody outside of Michigan.
Absolutely.
so so they're going to be shocked at how many Knicks fans live in Michigan. Because you know we in there.
But look, right? I've been thinking about that's one of the series I'm thinking about for sure. I want to see how Golden State respond to the youth in Houston. But both of those teams, Houston and Detroit, are young, right? Now, Ime Udoka makes a major difference when it comes to the Houston team because he's a seasoned coach who can kind of settle them down when Golden State kind of do what they gonna do, right?
Hold up.
Go
Timeout.
ahead.
A
Yeah.
seasoned coach?
I say a seasoned coach because he did have that Boston Celtics in the finals and he
Yes.
had them in the Eastern Conference Finals. So
Yes.
he's had deep playoff runs
No.
as a coach.
Yes. But I think he's only coached 2 seasons.
That's true.
This is the
But
second
once you
season.
go through the playoff gauntlet, you do have that experience. And
Yes,
I don't
he has
and
that
that's
playoff
going to
experience.
be that's going to be beneficial because the Detroit coach doesn't. And I think that makes like Tibbs is a far more seasoned coach than the Bickerstaff right now. You get what I'm saying? So them
But
boys are young.
Bickerstaff, what I'm saying is Bickerstaff is more seasoned than Ime Udoka.
That's
That's what
fine.
I'm saying. That's
That's
what I'm
fine.
saying. Like Ime is this is second year, I believe, as a head coach.
No, he had a couple years in Boston.
I think he had one, maybe two. And I don't think he had two. I think he had
Okay.
1 year, and then Missoula took over, and they went to the Eastern Conference Finals and lost, and then they went back and won a championship.
Now I'm interested. This is a star-studded matchup right here. This to me is a star-studded matchup. I don't expect this team to win, but boy, I want to see what this guy do in this matchup. Okay, we got Luca, we got LeBron, but boy, we got Ant Man. And listen to me, Luca a cone. Okay, LeBron is a cone, and with all due respect to them and their greatness, they ain't great on the defensive side of the ball right now.
Not during the
And
regular
boy,
season.
listen,
It's
if
different.
Ant Man attacks the rim, just get your popcorn ready because somebody going on the poster.
Yeah, he could do that any given night,
I
but
think Minnesota
it
can
only
win
it,
2 games.
it
That's
only
it.
counts for 2 points.
That's true. But he has increased his 3 point attempts
Yeah.
and field goal percentage this year. So he's really locked in on a 3 point shot
So
this year.
what happens? What happens when LeBron come down the lane full speed?
Did somebody gonna get run over?
Okay.
That's
It,
exactly what's
it,
gonna happen. I
Ant
tell
Man
you,
better get out the way.
get out
Now
the way. I
now
tell you what though, I don't think Minnesota has enough. Now, Big Ra, he did mention this. He said, "Boy, Julius Randle he better be in attack mode every time he see Luca guarding him. He needs to go at him because he's got to help Ant Man when it comes to the offensive side. If he plays big, the way we know he's capable of playing big, and I'm talking about Julius Randle, then this can be a much more difficult matchup for the Lakers because at any given moment, Ant can close the game out. If it's close, he got the ability to close the game out. But
so does
Julius
Luca.
Randle is the X factor in this series on how far it can go for Minnesota against the Lakers.
Yeah. So Luca's a closer too, and that's the
Mm-hmm.
thing. And
Mm-hmm.
as far as like the matchups go, you got matchup nightmares all over the place. I'm not saying anybody can guard Ant Man, but similarly, nobody out there can guard LeBron, nobody out there can guard Luca, and nobody on that court can guard Austin Reeves.
Yeah. Yeah, he's nice. His bag that boy can play. He can play.
Jackson Hayes has been playing really well. I think having Luka there has unlocked his game.
Okay.
He's been great defensively. They got healthy Rui Hachimura out there. They got healthy DFS out there.
Hmm.
Those are the guys who are going to end up guarding Ant-Man the most.
Yeah.
LeBron, 40 years old. He don't want to have to deal with a 20-something-year-old superstar.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't want that. And Luka is not good enough on defense. He can't slide those puppies fast enough
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
deal with Ant-Man. It's gonna be a good
It
yeah, it's
is.
gonna be a good
It
series.
is. I think the only other playoff matchup, because I got my picks are OKC sweep or gentleman sweep. I think Boston sweeps as well. I think Boston is going to sweep. It's going to be interesting to see what Cleveland, if Cleveland can run the table. But I got Cleveland in 5 as well, right?
What do,
Um,
what what do you the Boston Orlando matchup is gonna be interesting because you got
Orlando
two
play them
guys
tough.
and you got two guys who came out of Duke
Yeah,
that's gonna be matched up, right?
yeah,
You got Paolo and Tatum.
yeah,
And things that we don't know is like how those matchups go in the summer.
yeah.
When they go back to their schools, a lot of these players do. I don't know if they do or not, but when they go back to their schools and they match up and they're running just open gym and stuff like that, what it look like? Who the best player in the gym? Cooper Flag?
So here's the thing, right? Let's just say we give the edge to Orlando. It don't matter. Boston got Drew Brown, like White, like so. Eventually, you run out of bodies in Orlando that can compete. Like, don't get me wrong,
Now,
Pablo may get his, and I believe he's going to get his. But you don't have enough
yeah.
to even. I don't even think you can push this series to 6 games. Like, you just don't have
Well,
enough.
let me ask you this: Jalen Brown is hobbled.
Yeah,
Does that
yeah.
matter?
Not in this series.
All right,
Not in this one.
all right.
But boy, if they run against the Knicks, seeing the Knicks get past Detroit, yeah, it's gonna matter. Because the thing is this: the longer the Knicks play, the more healthier potentially Jalen Brunson gets, right? And the healthier that man get, the more problems you're gonna have to deal with. And I don't care if it's Drew on him, White on him. That boy knows how to shot, create, and get a bucket. So you're
Yeah,
gonna need a Jalen Brown healthy to be able to switch off on him to make it difficult with him with his length. The
yeah. The
other
Knicks got the better
series,
Jalen.
yeah, the other series that I believe potentially can go 6 to 7 games is also out in the West, and that's the Clippers, the Denver series. Clippers is a scary team to me, especially if playoff Kawhi Leonard show up. It's similar with Jimmy Butler, bro.
What about playoff Jimmy Harden?
Hey, it's true, right? Like, yo, playoff Jimmy show up, you be like, what in the
No,
world? When
I'm
Kawhi
talking about
show up and he
playoff
lock
James.
in, man, listen, I'm excited. That's a very exciting series to me. Is that 4-5 matchup, the Clippers against the Nuggets? I'm excited to watch that one. I'm excited to see this Knicks and Detroit series. I want to definitely see the Lakers. You know what I mean? The Ant-Man series. That's going to be crazy. But that series, in my opinion, is going to be the highlight of the first round.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Zubac go up against Joker, man, because I like Zubac's game. He is a throw me the ball and I'm gonna dunk something. That's the type of player he is. Give me the ball, I'm gonna dunk something. He is that big. He plays that big. I'm looking forward to seeing that match.
Yeah, yeah. So who you got
Well,
winning the?
let's talk about
Go ahead.
Friday.
Yeah, yeah,
Let's
yeah.
talk about
Go ahead.
Friday.
Who you got winning, and how
You
do you
got
think they're gonna do it?
you got Miami and Atlanta, right? And again, I'm gonna give the edge to Spo. Atlanta got the better roster. I'm gonna go with Spo.
So, so I'm what you saying makes a lot of sense, right? I'm gonna be honest with you. If Orlando can frustrate Trae Young, I definitely know Miami can.
Nah, it's not the
You don't think
same.
so?
No, because Orlando has they didn't have him for this game, but Jalen Suggs is one of the best defensive guards in the league. they had KCP out there frustrating him too. And I think what was also frustrating him was that he actually I don't know for sure that he had to guard Cole Anthony, but Cole Anthony was killing. Cole Anthony went off.
He played the best game of his career.
The most important best game of his career for sure, yeah. Yeah, but I mean, remember he had a big game. There was a big like I think it was an ACC tournament game that he had in college that was huge.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was a big one for him. So I think that was frustrating as well. Just seeing this guy come in and he came in off the bench, right? Like he's not even in the starting lineup. He came in off the bench and was like, "Yo, I'm gonna give y'all 30."
Let me ask you a question. Do you want to see Miami play Cleveland, or you want to see Atlanta play Cleveland?
I would love to see Atlanta stay alive in the playoffs, because they look. Bam Adebayo is one of the best players in the NBA, and I love seeing him on the stage. Tyler Hero can be an exciting player from time to time, just not consistent enough. Trae is made for the moment.
That's
Trae,
true.
when we talk about like the NBA as entertainment, Trae is one of the best entertainers in the game right now.
Yeah.
I want to see him get out there. Dyson Daniels, his backcourt running mate, it's again should be in the running for defensive player. If you're gonna give it to a guard, defensive player of the year. Should definitely make an all defensive team. He's that nice
Right.
on defense. He's like Revis Island when you got Dyson on you.
He lock
So
in.
he locks in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they also have the number one player taken in last year's draft, Risache, who we continue to see grow and develop. Right. So it'd be cool to see. It would be cool to see them go. The winner of that matchup plays Cleveland, right?
Yes. Yeah, because
So
Cleveland is
yeah,
the one seed.
yeah, and Cleveland got one of the got DeAndre Hunter, who used to play for Atlanta. He started his career in Atlanta, and they traded him to Cleveland. So it'd be nice to see that story play out.
Yeah.
See DeAndre Hunter come back and give his old team 20.
Gonna give him the business.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm gonna be honest. I'm not betting against Spo. What the point you make is valid though, right? Because Miami is short of a star power right now. Bam is a great player, but he ain't star power from a playoff atmosphere type. Like he's a running mate. I don't think he's a
He's a
one. He's
role
a
player.
running mate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So I think
exactly.
what you're saying makes a lot of sense because we've seen Trae in big moments, and boy, when he get going,
Yeah, he
and he
can't
be
guard
put he
anybody,
be
but he can shoot.
he be talking junk to everybody. So that is very true. That would be a better playoff entertainment matchup. I don't think. I think whoever it is, as Shannon Sharp say, five.
Right, right. But here's the cool thing. Like you can't if Atlanta advances, you cannot hide Trae. Defensively, you can't hide him. He got to deal with Garland or he has to deal with Mitchell.
And if he listen, Garland. First of all, the quickness, the handles, and the shot making ability is gonna cook him. And he is too small to deal with
Yeah,
Donovan Mitchell. So
and Garland got to deal with Trae. So that's a great one-on-one matchup if they, as far as they match up throughout the game. But then you got Donovan Mitchell and Dyson Daniels. Again,
yes, that's
one of
that's
one
good.
of the best lockdown defenders in the league. What is he going to do against against Mitchell, who is undersized at 6'2"
Yeah,
guard,
yeah,
but still throughout his career has been one of the best players doing it,
yeah,
and it hasn't slowed down a lick.
yeah.
That would be a
I
great matchup.
like that matchup. The way you breaking it down, it's got me compelled to be like, yeah, I'd rather see Atlanta, but I don't want to bet against Spo because Spo gets them guys playing out of their mind, and they always doing something that you be like, how they do that, and the credit always goes to Eric Spo's coaching. So I wouldn't be surprised if Miami pulls it out because of the history of Eric Spoelstra and what he's done with it with his teams. But yeah, from a visual, what's going to be entertaining? Yeah, Atlanta and that backcourt against Cleveland, and that backcourt will be fun to watch.
So I have a guess, a wild guess for this matchup,
Okay.
and we'll see how it goes. So Miami
Yeah.
can win. We can win this matchup, and this can also be the announcement of the arrival of Jaime Jaquez, who's already had a huge game in the last week.
Nice.
So if Jaime goes on like a March Madness type run
Yeah.
in the playoffs, like
Yeah.
starting with the play-in and then going,
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. These are the type of these are the times,
these are the moments.
these are the moments that you make a name for yourself. And then next thing you know, you get a contract extension and you kind of move yourself right into a all-star caliber player. So listen, they gonna need him, right? They're gonna need him to be what his potential says he's capable of being. So I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting game when it comes to that Dallas Memphis series. Like, I want to root for Memphis. I really do. I want to root for Memphis, but Ja makes me upset. Like, he just gets on my nerve right now with his antics. Like, I just wish he would just settle in. You know what I'm saying? And God, man. And
Yeah.
Jaren Jackson, like, J Jack, I like him. I think he shoot too many threes, but I like him. You know what I'm saying? But it's hard to root for Ja with some of the stuff that he's doing right now. Yeah, I would love to see Ja and them move on because I don't want to see. I get it from the competitive standpoint for Dallas, but I want to see the star, and the star is Ja. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's hard to
Yeah.
root for him right now with some of the things that he's doing.
Well,
But
you can
man,
root for
that's going to
Desmond
be
Bain.
big time. Yeah, I like Desmond Bain.
You
I
can
like
root
him.
for
He look like
him.
a little Popeye. You know what I'm saying? Little Popeye.
Well, he might be playing out of position, right? Like you look at him as a two guard because Ja is there, but when Ja gets traded, Desmond moves back over to the one. So,
There you go. There you go. There you go. Starting trouble. There you go. Starting trouble,
but
boy.
who you got? Who you got winning that? Dallas, Memphis.
I got Memphis winning. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's one of those moments again, right? Now, don't get me wrong. I think AD that guy, right? He gonna play, right? But it's one of them times where the star become the star, and Ja gonna have one of them memorable performances and carry them into the playoffs to get swept in the first round.
Hey, at least they make the playoffs, though. At least
Yeah,
they make the
right.
playoffs.
That's exactly how it go. So look, man, we're going to wrap that up right there. I'm excited to see how this play out because next week we're going to be able to talk about it. And boy, listen, it's going to be fun, fun, fun. Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, share the podcast with everyone that is a sports fan that want to celebrate and support us. We here once again. Stay winning in the building.
I stay winning. I'm winning, I'm winning. I stay winning. I did it, I did it. I stay winning. I'm winning, I'm winning. Never losing. I'm winning, I'm winning. Or caught slipping. I did it, I did it. I stay winning. I'm winning.